Hi, everyone. This is Patrick Donohoe. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. This is the first episode of our new season where we're going to be talking about investing. I'm really excited to outline the season, why I chose the topic, the structure of the episodes, what I have going on over the next few months, which I think is going to be perfect for this specific topic. And also, the topic aligns really well as kind of a capstone in a sense of our previous 5 seasons. But like I said, this is a kickoff episode. It'll be relatively short. But I'm excited to have the guests I have on. Already recorded a few episodes, and the conversations and the topics that I'm thinking through right now are going to be it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to learn right alongside you guys. But first off, let me just take care of a few things. First, thank you for your support last year, the 2019 season, specifically the support in the second season on entrepreneurship. That was a long season. There was so many different episodes in there, and a lot of different topics, tons of information. And also, just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that the open invitation to the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event, not open invitation. It's the invitation is still open. So you guys can still register. If you guys go to thewellstandard.com, you can access the show notes. And my man Jeffrey's information is in there. He is the representative that I work with at the Tony Robbins organization. And there's a really steep discount for all of the tickets. It's gonna be amazing. So it's in Northern California in March. So for dates, information, and to get hold of Jeffrey, just go to the show notes, and you'll have some links there right at the top, I believe. But it's going to be an amazing event, and so I'm excited to meet you guys there. Those of you who've signed up, and like I said, it's an event that is it's powerful, and it works in really well to what I've been talking about over the last couple of seasons. So I think you guys are going to see some similar language and topics. But anyway, I can't wait for that. And we'll definitely have a report from the event based on those that are going from my office as well as some of the listeners. Okay, so let me just make sure you guys are tuned in to how to download new episodes. So if you're a new listener, you can subscribe to your podcast app and it'll auto update the episodes. So make sure you do that. Also, we have a YouTube channel, so almost all, if not all of the episodes are video. So just go to our YouTube channel. All those links are on thewellstandard.com. So subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. It's a great way to be notified of new episodes. And also our email list. We're going to be a lot more proactive with our email and engage a lot more with you guys because I'd like this to be not just me speaking to you, conveying information, as well as guests doing that, but vice versa. It's you talking about your experiences with this theme, questions you have, comments you have, deals you're working through. I'd love to have those questions and also your feedback so that we can just kind of talk about the things that are the most important to you. All right, so let me kind of get into what I'm thinking. Well, actually, first off, another reason why I chose to talk about investment is because of some of the events that I'm attending over the next few months. I'm going to a business mastery event in just a few weeks, and I'm also going to an investment summit with a group that I had joined and invested with, and they mostly are doing startup type of investment in the energy sector, but they have an investment summit every year in Southern California. So I'm really excited to talk through that. These are not investments that I usually make. In fact, I've never made these types of investments, and I consider it very speculative. And so the investment in part made sense to me because of the group that I got to hang around with. So not only am I invested financially, but also from a time standpoint and from a network standpoint, it's a great opportunity. So I can't wait to learn from that event and then report back to you guys. And then I'm going to the finance event that Tony Robbins puts on for his platinum partners. It's my second year going. The previous one was in Whistler. This one's going to be in Sun Valley, Idaho. And if you guys are new and haven't watched the video series that I did, I think there's 3 or 4 episodes. I'll make sure we link to those videos are from are on our YouTube channel in the show notes. So go check out the show notes if you guys have not watched that series. I went through, kind of gave an overview of what I was learning, what was being said, and then I'm going to I'm gonna do the same thing, obviously, with the one this coming February in Sun Valley. But anyway, there's be a lot of people there, a lot of networking. So I'm hoping to not just do solo episodes, but have some co-hosts, some surprise co-hosts, with regards to these events. So it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a busy couple months for me, but I'm excited to keep giving you guys information and teaching you and sharing with you ways in which you can get closer to your financial independence. All right, so why investment? So I chose investment as investing or investment, and all the subcategories: investment strategy, investment theory, philosophy, as well as wealth strategy, why investment plays a role or should play a role, what is an investment, how to make a wise investment, what's wise and not wise, why is it wise for one person and not for the other, right? There's a lot of topics in there, but the objective was to really have this as a capstone to our previous seasons, because for those of you who are listening that are new, in 2018, I went on this path of life, liberty, and the pursuit of property, which is a very famous saying from the uh, the 1700s, from a man named John Locke, who inspired the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which is what most people are familiar with. But I chose this topic because of how intrigued I was based on what John Locke meant by the rights of life, liberty, and property. So we spent a season on life and really looked at life as you are your best asset. And then liberty, the second season, I perceive that as what everyone is after when it comes to when it comes to wealth and wealth strategy, financial strategy, which is financial independence, freedom, and then resources, or property, which I consider resources, is the physical world around us. And as the human being interacts with the physical world, amazing things happen. And then in 2019, we spent an entire season talking about capitalism, which is the structure, the infrastructure, from a societal standpoint, that best houses those rights and allows human beings to capitalize on those and pursue interests in the smoothest way possible. And a guest that I really wanted on, but wasn't able to make it happen due to some illness and health issues on his part, was Hernando Desoto, who wrote a book called The Mystery of Capital, and it's an amazing read into the nature of the system in which people interact, and how the system itself, the foundation, the infrastructure, facilitates or inhibits progress, prosperity. And I'll probably speak a little bit more about that whole idea, and I'm hoping to still get him on this year. So stay tuned for that. But those were the seasons, and the last season was entrepreneurship, right? Which is essentially the individual and what they can do to improve themselves and subsequently improve their financial situation by understanding the structure in which they operate capitalism, as well as the rights of life, liberty, and property. And there's been some incredible stories about what listeners have been able to understand with regard to ways in which they can improve themselves to make more money in their profession, or maybe switch professions, or maybe switch companies. And then also from a wealth strategy standpoint, how could they start to make investments, make wise choices when it comes to when it comes to where they put their money. And we're going to expand on a lot of that, because investment in theory is kind of the end result of all of this, right? Which is, when you invest, you hope to get more than what you put in, and from a financial standpoint, that's getting more money back than you put in. But obviously, from an investment standpoint, not everybody qualifies to use that definition, because a lot of people lose money, and then sometimes they're, I would say oftentimes, most times, the majority of time, you have individuals who don't really know what they're doing, and whenever there is a gain, it's not because of anything that they did, okay, or understand. It just happened. And I put that right in line and parallel to gambling, right? So it's one of those things where I think investment and the evolution of our society is, it's interesting, because there's to be tons of opportunities, tons of options. At the same time, what might be a good and wise and prudent investment for one person may not be that for another. So we're going to talk through that and obviously use examples, because we're not just going to talk philosophically about investment. I'm going to have investment providers on here, people that have a business in which they take money from other people and give them a return and how their business operates and ways in which you can do due diligence. And have a securities attorney on here who has been around a lot of private investments. He's seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as you can probably imagine, there's a lot more ugly than there is good. Uh, and so I look at the different topics, and hopefully that is going to allow you to understand business at a higher level, investment at a higher level. But most importantly, it's the purpose of investment. I look at the deep seated perspective that the United States has, especially Americans, when it comes to what their end result of uh, uh, investing, wealth management, wealth strategy, which is retirement. And I talked extensively in my book about the nature of retirement, and how flawed it is. I think it's a very difficult thing to do. I think planning and subsequently retiring is very difficult and risky as well. And I look at the pursuit of financial independence, okay, which we're going to keep defining over and over and over again, right, is much easier and it can happen much sooner. And I believe it's what people are really after. And so I'm going to discuss that whole philosophy throughout this season. But you look at most investment products, and they support the theory that I'm talking about when it comes to retirement. If that's what you subscribe to, right, then there's tons of products out there, financial products that are designed for that end. But if your pursuit is financial independence, financial freedom, then you have to really look at how investments play into that different end result. And like I said, we're going to be talking about what financial independence is, and expand on how to achieve that. What's some of the criteria? And it's not the same for everybody, because I believe financial independence is a mindset. Now, having certain things in place, whether it's cash flow, whether it's working in a profession that's meaningful and aligns with who you are, and you're continually growing and making a difference in other people's lives. And I think all those are components of it, but I think it's gonna be different for everyone based on where they're at. But we'll get into that in much detail over the course of the next few months. All right, so that's a good overview. I think 2020 is a pretty significant year. It's the year of clarity, uh, and I'm hoping you guys are starting out on a good footing. My goal is to really build upon the philosophical foundation that was established in 2018 and 2019. And I believe that you as an individual are after ways in which you can improve your degree of independence. And money, I believe, is a huge part of that. We've approached it philosophically. Now we're going to get into the practical with regards to investment strategy. But at the same time, I want you to just step back a little bit and think through what I mentioned a moment ago, and hopefully take this into the next several episodes, which is, what is the purpose of you making investment? What is the purpose of you working? What is the purpose of you continuing to want more? Where is that drive coming from? What's the purpose? What's the end result of it? Like I said in the book that I wrote, Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, a financial strategy to reignite the American dream, I argue extensively that what we're all after is more freedom, more independence, and that is going to allow us to make decisions that are going to improve our degree of satisfaction and meaning with regards to life and our experience of it. And I believe that you're after that. I'm after that. And I'm hoping that the dialogue, the discussions, the information that I go through with all of the guests, as well as solo and with some surprise co-hosts, that reinforces what you really want for yourself. Because I believe it's possible. I've seen it so many times. I realize that there are a lot of challenges that stand in the way of that. First and foremost, being the whole financial world is structured to help you retire. If you don't want to retire and want to be financially independent, then you have to rethink really the investment choices, the financial products you're using, because it makes a huge difference. And we're going to get into a lot of that. But anyway, I believe there's no better time in history to gain clarity about your wealth strategy, your investments, your financial future. I believe the next 10 years is going to be oh man, it's exciting because of everything that's going on. I believe that there are so many different innovations that are going to allow less work and more meaning. And I also believe that with the baby boomer generation, the older generation, the amount of money that's going to be transferring from one generation to another, in the tens of trillions of dollars, is going to shift how businesses operate. It's going to shift demand for different goods and services. It's going to, shift where people are living, how they're living. It's going to shift employment. It's going to be amazing, and I believe that the disruption that's going to happen is much needed. And also, I believe that it's all an opportunity where you, as a good steward of your wealth, can take advantage of just incredible opportunities to make money, to start a business, to join forces with another business, to acquire another business. The sky's the limit, and I really believe that what you want for yourself is possible. And I'm going to focus on really the information, the opportunities, and as well as answering the questions that you have, working through some of the challenges you face in order for you to achieve those ends. Okay, that being the case, thank you guys for listening to this shorter podcast. But again, it's the introduction, it's the kickoff. I'm excited to bring on the next couple of guests, which are actually already recorded. One is um, the first one, episode one, is he's been in the financial industry for a really long time in a traditional sense. But as you'll see in the discussion, it shows you how in line people are that are really successful with some of the principles and things we've talked about in previous seasons. And then I have my good buddy Andy Tanner on the second episode, who brings just an incredible perspective when it comes to money and financial freedom and financial education. So he'll be there at the second episode. And then from there, hey, you'll have to wait and see. Thanks, guys, for listening. Appreciate it. Thank you for the support again. Make sure you go bookmark the website, thewealthstandard.com, and check out all the show notes from this episode. This is Patrick Donohoe signing off. See you next time.